Hello, everyone. My name is Isaiah Torres. I'm a NetSuite consultant, and today we'll be covering creating a created by field for transactional records. So this is a demo environment. I am in the admin role, and you can see on the sales order, we have this custom field created by, so it allows us to know who created this record. This information can always be found in system notes, but it's not always as easy to reference on save searches, things like that, reports. So this field here allows you to have that information a lot more accessible, and it could always be different from a sales rep. So creating who created the record versus who's the sales rep may vary from time to time. So this is how we will create this. I will open a new sales order so I can just have that ready. We'll start by creating this field. So created by, we'll have it displayed in the main subtab so that you can reference it easily there. And along with that, you will see that we are using a list and employee, and we're going to store the value. So this will say that, we are putting the value from our employee record, since we're always going to be creating this internally. And that way you can see that this is a hyperlink referencing the employee record. Once we have the field, we can then create a workflow. So the workflow will be a pretty standard workflow. I named it set created by. We're referencing transactions in this. We are doing a sales order. You can do quote, purchase order, essentially any and all transactional records that you want to have this on. We are using execute as an admin for testing purposes. And the trick is we only want this to trigger on create, meaning that when someone creates it, that is when it's going to work, versus when someone views or updates this, if there's a change in any sense, that would then update that field. So we are looking for this to only work when a new transaction record is created. So that is the workflow setup. And then we go into the state. You can see that we are setting a field value. And setting a field value, if I open up state 1 is under new action. Set field value field, we would choose created by. On here, we would also say from. You can use user, and this will reference. And along with that, trigger on after record submits. That way, once it's saved, the system knows that this is the person who did it. And if you come back here, this is the one I'm already using. As you can see, this is the current setup. So once that is enabled and we have that field, we can then go ahead and create a new sales order. So we'll do this for testing purposes. As I mentioned, this is the demo environment. So we'll just, no need to approve it. We'll just select some items here. Add. Perfect. And now that we have that, you can see that this is empty, but once we hit save, it will populate a value signifying that I created this record. And if we go into system information, you will see that workflow history that it triggered and ran. I did make a change on this. As you can see, once I created it, I then put test. And as you can see, it still only ran once. So even though I updated and made a change, it did not make any impacts. And you can see that the time note 7:48 also references when this was completed. And if I go look at my system notes for when I added this memo field test, 7:50, the workflow did not rerun. And then this will allow you to easily reference who created what on save searches or reports and use it for future reports and customizations. Thank you.